welcome to This, That, and Everything Else. I'm your host, Dorothy. Today our episode will be on the writers of The Lost Generation. They are a group of controversial authors who attempted to change society. Many of them were alcoholics and were involved in love affairs. They wanted to get away from the materialistic society in America after the First World War. So they left the country. Two authors we have tracked down this past week in Paris, France are F. Fitzgerald and Ernest Hemingway. First, we have Ernest Hemingway. Woo! Hello, Ernest. Ernest, to start, can you tell me a little more about yourself?
Well, hi, Dorothy. I'd just like to say thank you for having me here today. It's a great honor. I was born in 1899 into a family of two. Little did I know I would have 6 other brothers and sisters come into my family. Well, I grew up in a Catholic family, and my father was a physician, while my mother was a religious woman who was active in the church community. She also had a very big interest in music, and, well, she thought I would, follow her footsteps. But I was more outdoorsy person, and I like to go hunting with my father and fishing trips. My hat. So yeah.
Tell me a little more about how you got into your work of writing.
Well, I attended Oak Park Public School, and really, that's where I got my inspiration from. I wrote in the school's newspaper, and I also participated in the writing, excuse me, of our yearbook. After I graduated in 1917, instead of going to college, I took a job as the club reporter of the Kansas City Star, and I worked with a lot of writers there. And during this time, the World War I was going on, and I enrolled, but due to my poor eyesight, I was rejected. And I just since then I've continued with my writing, and recently I've actually published a new book called The Old Man in the Sea. You should read it. So yeah, that's really it.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, Ernest.
Thank you.
It was honestly an honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, goodbye, Ernest.
Bye.
Commercial advertisement.
Taryn
And Abby against each other in wall hand.
Yeah. I mean, wait,
Who's gonna win?
Ow, my wrist! Oh my gosh!
Now that we have that over with, we will welcome Francis, the writer. Woo! Francis, welcome to This, That, and Everything Else. So, Francis, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hello, Dorothy. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor. I'd like to start by talking about myself. I was born in St. Paul, Minnesota, to two lovely parents. My father's name was Edward, and my mother's name is Mary, but we call her Molly. I got my name from a distant relative, as you can tell. He was the writer of the national anthem. That's it, yes.
Alright, how did you start writing?
When I was younger, I attended St. Paul Academy and created my first piece of writing. It was just a short story that I wrote for my school newspaper at the age of 13. In about 1911, I attended the Newman School. It was a prep school in New Jersey. There I met the man who encouraged all of my writing, Father Sigori Faye. For college I went to Princeton. I wrote the scripts for the musicals, and I wrote for their magazines. When my grades started slipping and it didn't look like I was going to graduate, I joined the Army. And when I didn't think I was going to get out of the Army, I thought I was going to die, so I started writing this book. It's called The Romantic Ecologist. I submitted it to Charles Scribner's Sons. The novel was rejected, and in the letter they told me that it needed to be revised. But they liked my originality, so I revised it and sent it back, but they rejected me again.
Well, thank you so much for coming out. Like, thank you so much.
It was so nice to meet you.
And you brought a lot to this, that, and everything else.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So nice meeting you.
Goodbye. Commercial number 2.
Marshmallow competition.
Who can fit the most marshmallows in their mouth, Abby or Taryn? One at a time. 1, I don't know how to do the Heimlich, so don't. I didn't feed my. For our third interview, we will be interviewing Vivian, a Chicago resident. Let's applaud her. Hello. Hi, Vivian. How do you feel about the authors that we just interviewed?
I don't understand these ridiculous authors and why they have such a hard time adjusting to life in the U.S. They are truly lost.
What is the stereotypical image of these writers?
They're all drunks who write about the most scandalous things. Writing about romances and such sexual acts are not part of the normal Victorian styles of today. They think that they can divert from our moralistic themes. We want to write about how anyone can make it if they work hard, but they insist on showing the bad side of things.
I kind of agree with you, Vivian. What do you think about them leaving the country?
It is the most cowardly thing. We need to join together after this world war, and they are running away. We have a great spirit of unity because we won the war, and they don't even appreciate it. They think the war was an inhumane act and was unnecessary. I think it was a great way to solve our problems.
Well, thank you for your time, Vivian. It was an honor.
You're welcome, Dorothy. You look very beautiful today.
Thank you. I like your headband.
I like yours too.
Goodbye, Vivian. So that is all we have today for our show, This, That, and Everything Else, based on The Lost Generation. Thank you all for coming out and watching This, That, and Everything Else. We will be tuning in tomorrow.